Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for some more talk about the Groonbowl. Here with Tim and Kyle, and this time I've got Voyager and Bussunda with me as well, and we're going to talk about Week 1 of the Groonbowl. I'm Randomus Namus, and let's talk about the Wales Conference.
I'm Kyle. Yes, let's talk. Where do you want to start?
With Wales Conference, man.
Okay.
Right here at the
Are
top.
we looking at the teams or the matches first?
Let's look at the matches first. There's not going to be very much change on most of them. So this is
Yeah.
Top Deckers versus Already Dad. That's
This was actually my game.
Oh
Yeah.
you killed the shit out of Camry.
No,
yeah. This
you
Camry
sure
team
did.
actually got re-rolled because of this horrible murdering that was inflicted upon these boys. Two Tomb Guardians were basically killed, as you can see from this MVP here. The one that actually had a skill was factually killed. And then one of his other Tomb Guardians, I think it was minus strength or minus move or
movement.
something.
Minus
yeah.
movement.
movement.
Terrible. So he's
It's
re-rolling
real
that
bad.
team.
That is literally half his position. The Tritus Memorial Exploding Team rule has been invoked.
Nope. And I'm a little bit sad because I play him next week, but
I mean, that's his whole team, man. He's Kimry.
no, I understand, but I'm still a little bit sad.
Yep, you did fine. Next match?
Yeah. Next
Oh, yeah,
up is
Voyager.
this was me and Jimmy
Forrest.
here.
Oh, Jimmy, right?
Yeah, Norse v Bretts. This was just like a grind. It turns out it's really miserable to have a whole bunch of Frenzy guys against a whole bunch of Fen guys. And then he was playing Bretts, so
Yeah,
Still
just-
got 91 blocks. That's pretty impressive.
God damn, man. 1-1?
yeah.
That's actually pretty decent and respectable from Brett's.
I did some
Jesus
punching.
Christ, 91. I thought that was total one bust. I was like, oh, that's a respectable number.
No, I punched him 91 times.
And
Jesus
look what he
Christ.
got out of it.
Fucking nothing.
I will say, I've seen, if you guys are familiar with Yapo, the really sort of famous Norse code from the other Goon community, I've seen him play against Brats, and it's not a good matchup early on for the Norse. They just do a lot of weird shit to you that you don't like.
Yeah, no,
Brett's
exactly. That's sort of how I felt. I
Yeah.
felt like all of my specialty skills just had counters on his team.
It's just all the ways your team is normally works just kind of doesn't against Brats, and it's not fun.
Yeah, and additionally, with this format, Brett's with a 100k of development is pretty much the strongest Brett's are ever going to be.
That's,
That's damning with faint praise right there.
The faintest
I
praise.
speak from experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Reds
true.
are just not a good team.
Speaking of your experience, Bus, next up we have
Yeah.
Side Salad versus your Noah. What happened there?
Yeah,
That
tell
was
us
actually
tell us
a-
about riding the snake, Buzz.
Yeah, hell of a ride. Yeah, it was a very balanced match, really, until about halfway into the second half. He was all set up to score and make it 2-1 in his favor right on there. But he tried a handoff into the
Catcher.
touchdown, and then he snaked it. And then I surrounded the ball with my dudes, and then I did a coast to coast and scored.
Rip.
So this was destined to be a 2-1 the other way, and it turned
Yep.
out your way. Yeah.
Flipped out and immediately in the over 2 turns.
So
And if
tell
you
me
want-
something important about your winnings roll.
Oh yeah, that was a 6. So the snake riding is officially over.
Yeah, that
already
sounds like
because
more than an
I'm-
APO costs.
Speaking of snakes and apos, something very important happened to that Side Salad team.
Yeah, the catcher died.
Oh, was it a catcher?
It was
Yeah.
a catcher with block.
A very unfortunate death.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean,
it's an
that's-
elf, so I'm not gonna mourn, but
And honestly, once he can buy a new catcher,
The real secret about the apos are that they're actually kind of a lie sometimes.
They're not
Yeah.
bad to have, though.
yeah.
yeah, I
Like,
mean,
okay,
like,
they only work 2/3 of the time, but that's still 2 out of 3 chance your piece is okay.
yeah.
I mean, Sometimes you don't care about a perm. Anyway,
Sometimes the perm's even not that bad, but like, yeah, it's good to have APOs.
next, the
Tim,
rat shootout.
What did you do?
Rat mirror. I apparently have 2 more games of rats than what's his name does. Sign. And also I gave one of my guys Claw Mighty Blow, and he did not.
Look at this SPP panel.
Yup. It's pretty gross.
It is disgusting, Tim. Look, you got 13 SPP on Storm Vermin. 9 of it was on a man that was already had 2 levels.
Both of them have 2 levels, so
Okay, sorry.
yes.
Yeah, well, he's now 3 KOs away. Your actual killer man from another level is what I'm trying to make the point on.
Yeah, the league has some work to do here.
Oh, I minus moved one of his Storm Vermin, the one that didn't have any skills on it.
And that's a dead line rat as well, which doesn't matter, I suppose.
That is not a
doesn't
huge
count.
deal.
Like, it's kind of unfortunate in that it stops him from building a bench quicker, but
That's the
'cause
rat
rats do
start,
want a
though.
bench. Yeah.
It's hard having a bench on rats, though, especially coming in with no money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think as a rat team, you just start at 1,000 anyway, so.
Yeah.
And now let's go to another blowout game.
Yep. This is Moniker's Pro Elves versus who's Lizards.
Nope. No,
What?
this is
Wells,
the
isn't it?
this is the Incredible Wood Elves versus Lizards.
Oh,
It's
no, that's right.
Wilfree's.
Wilfree's
Wilfrey.
Wood Elves. I'm thinking
And this
the
is
other big-
Wilfrey and Sign, right?
No, this is shit.
Yes.
Damn it, who's
Yes,
this?
that is Sign.
Yeah.
I played Elcal, sorry.
Right, right.
So my notes are that this was a short kick from Wilfrey that Sign then snakes a pickup on. So the ward answers are just like there on turn 2, and it just goes to hell from there.
I would say in general, Wood Elves are kind of a scary matchup for Lizards because you just really do not want to have stunty ball carriers with no general access against like ward answers.
And ward answers that start with strip ball.
Yeah.
Where do you put the football? What do you do?
There's no safe place.
You just pray they fail the leap.
I want to point out something
Give
very
it to
important.
Saurus, obviously.
Yeah, that's the actual plan, spoken from a lizard expert.
What's that?
Anyway, so he rolled a 5 on winnings, and he also has an APO now.
Oh no, another snake rider's done riding their snake.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed with the number of elves that just lived through their first game with this shit.
yeah. Well, the things that died: Kemri and Chorfs.
Yep, the 2 that nobody expected to die died.
I also say like the Camry was just bad luck. But the Tomb Guard, okay, so one of them died just failing a GFI, killed itself. The other one got like punched by a zombie when I was setting up a surf, and then it just died anyways.
I mean, it got its fist through its skull from a mummy. That's what mummies do.
No, it wasn't. It was a zombie. Like the mummies, like the usual undead game plan of like mummy shit to death and foul that just didn't really do anything that mattered.
Yep. Okay, so while we're here, let's look at week 2 and make our predictions. I just want to stick them together.
You already played your game.
I did already play my game.
I think
touched
Granimus is
some
going
elves.
to win his game.
No, I don't believe you.
Okay, so Tim, how do you
I believe-
feel about Kimry with having twice as many agility as they do, and
I
like
think
3 times as
I'm
many
probably
movement?
going to win. I fear I may get punched a lot.
I'm really hopeful that some of your storm vermin die.
I would not like that.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think I agree that you're probably favored in that matchup. It's just that it's hard for Kimry to reliably play the ball, and that's what you as rats punish.
Well, especially because he doesn't have anybody with sure hands, so he has to basically just engage Skeleton Cube and hope one of them picks it up.
Exactly, and if somebody doesn't pick it up, which happens a lot.
Yeah, and then if it's it bounces around a bunch of skeletons and falls out in one tackle zone, I get to just go, no, this is my ball now. And
There's also the fact that I don't think he has any tackle.
Oh no, he does. He has a
He
tackle
has
mighty blow
one
guy.
tackle mighty blow Blitzra.
Yeah.
So
Which is
that is
pretty
just,
good.
a prime target.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gonna have to protect that thing, or you put boots on it. This is a pro tip. If he's listening, please protect that man. That man is your key to
No,
victory.
don't protect him. Let me punch him.
Remember, blitz, run away, run behind things. Blitz,
Oh,
run
sorry.
out, run back. Be a coward. Real Skaven are cowards, so are you.
Don't let Tim use the can opener on your Tomb Guardians.
Not even the can opener. If you don't take care of it, he's just gonna like knock it down and then park a line rat on it. It's not gonna do anything next
That's
time.
also true.
Speaking of, I'm looking at your team, Tim. Why does it have? Oh, right, you bought an extra rat. Okay,
Yes.
that explains where your money came from, and you
Speaking
got
of
one
benches.
block on a gutter. Yep, that makes perfect sense. All right.
Next up, Salmonella Express and Inwa. That's Woodies in Dark Elves, right?
That's
Yep.
a lizards and
No,
dark
it's
elves.
Lizards in
Lizards.
Dark Elves, yeah.
Yeah.
On the
I
other
don't-
side has tackle, so it could go either way, really.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
this is
just
gonna
gonna
be
be
hard
some
to-
stunty shit.
I think this is gonna be a
So-
hard game for lizards.
Bus does have these 3 Blodge Blitzers that are just going to murder skinks all game.
It's
That's
true.
no
the
tackle.
plan, but they don't have tackle.
There's no
They
tackle
don't,
yet.
but dodge is, or block, sorry, is not quite as good, but it's better than just trying to rely on, oh, I need a POW.
Yeah,
like,
70% to
no-
knock them down on that 2-day. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like, there's no real killer, but I think the big thing is just not having the full line of swords yet on lizards is so hard.
You know what he does
He's
have?
2
that's-
away.
He has Crocs. He has Crocs that can prevent dodges, so that at least helps.
But that's only a pillar.
Yeah, I feel like the Crocs is going to have to do work this game for Lizards to get out. I hate to say this, but I think I like both teams, but I think the Dark Elves are favored, but I'm rooting for the guy who's putting his Crocs on the line. Sorry, Bus.
You're dead to me.
Yeah, I think that Dark Elves here probably favored. I think that I was favored in my game because I won.
You're playing
That said,
against
I do
Wood
think that he
Elves.
actually probably was favored in that game. I just
Yeah, I would-
I beat his
would
boys to death.
I mean, that is
I
kind of a
would
North
definitely
game plan
favor,
against 87.
Wood Elves over Norse.
Yeah, it was
Like,
it was a
one
scary
of those
game for
games that-
both sides.
yeah, it's one of those games that like could go either way, and it just kind of like the Norse totally have a chance, but it relies on them just beating the shit out of them early. And then
I
they just
killed a line
rise
elf
to-
on the first block.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I don't want to unnerve you or anything, Rando, but scary for both sides. You're going to describe literally every game you played this season.
That's not untrue.
Norse. All right, so next we have Rats versus your Undead.
So I again don't have a sure hands guy yet, but I'm picking up the ball with agility 3, so I'm much less scared of naked pickups. I think this team is well put together to just fuck up like squishy AV7 guys and just run him out of players, basically.
Yeah,
You've got tackle, and that right there makes me not.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
has
think you've got a
one
decent matchup.
tackle.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to the rats if he can remove that piece or not.
Well, he doesn't have a killer either. He has no
Yeah,
mighty
he doesn't
blow.
have a
I'm not gonna leave that guy hanging out to get fucked.
I think that this is a 2-1 game that goes the way that whichever big play that happens goes.
I mean, again, it is always rats. So like, if I just like roll 2 2s in a row and I pick up, like that could be the game.
Yeah, and it just like bounces out of your cage as you set up, and a gutter runner has the ball now.
I like it when a gutter runner picks up the ball, throws to a line rat, and hands off to another line rat in tackle zones. I like that.
He
For
is
this
going to
game.
be out of Storm Vermin for this match. So
Yeah, he is.
was
That's
that-
pretty rough.
Is that the case?
Yeah, it is. I wonder what he induces. Actually,
it's
he
like
gets a
big
fair
bit.
bit.
I think it's only like it's not because it's not that much
No,
more.
'cause-
expensive.
so he gets 2 line rats.
Oh
So
god.
only,
Yeah.
like
So he's
50K
down.
in-
He's only down like 40K or something.
Yeah, he's gonna get like
Yeah.
a babe.
Yeah, so he can take like a babe if he spends 10K of his own money or something.
Probably not worth it.
Okay, and then
I mean,
Jimmy's
I
playing.
might.
Which one's Side Salad? That's Rylon.
That's Rylon.
Yeah.
The Wood Elves.
What elves?
Jimmy's on what? Brett's?
Yeah.
I like
I
like this. This is actually pretty scary for the Wood Elves because like there's no tackle yet, but having wrestled against your Ward Answers can lead to bad things happening.
Yeah,
That's true.
And Jim needs to fix the problem with Brett's where your blockers never develop. So he's given them some mighty blow and some guard. So I think Jimmy's got a pretty good chance, but I slightly favor Rylon just because he knows how to make elves go elf.
Yeah, so
I'm giving it to the Rylon too because he knows as well.
yeah, I think the elves can elf here, but I'm not so convinced that Rylon wins this one. He only has the one ward answer. Yeah. I think that Jimmy's going to be pretty good at denying him using it very well because he's got all this guard that's going to let all of his block and wrestle boys take lots of punches. So this could very quickly snowball in Norse's favor too.
I'll say like the big thing I look at and like any kind of like
spends half its time on the floor.
Yeah.
Like just like okay, like the big thing I'm looking at in any kind of elves versus caging team matchup is like, do the elves have a ball hawk and do the caging team have the tools to protect the ball hawk? And there's no strip ball, so not having sure hand doesn't really matter. And there's enough guard to make the cage corner safe. So
exactly.
It's not really good. Like he can't just take the ball from a cage, so he's gonna have to earn it, and that's gonna be hard against Jimmy.
Right, like if Jimmy cages, you still have to play like a real anti-cage game. He's going to have to play this like pillar game that I think that Jimmy is equipped to punish him for.
Yeah, I think he can actually take down that tree. Like that tree is a decent pillar to work around, but it's still a tree on a team that otherwise doesn't really want to use it.
Yucko.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like he's got to get value out of that tree to win this. I think. Like I think it has to tie up, like at least a real boy.
Pretty hard to get dauntless rolls against that thing.
Yeah, why are you taking dauntless rolls at a tree?
Yeah, you're not punting an AB10 guy with no skills to like, or with no mighty blow or claw or nothing.
Yeah, I'm picking Jimmy.
I think it's a coin flip. Like
I think they both have a path to victory there.
Literally flip a coin. In fact, I will. That's tails. I think that's Rylon still.
You did it.
You can call it.
Whatever. You picked it.
Okay. Are we on the next conference?
Yeah, I think we're going to move on to the Campbell Conference.
Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Campbell, sure.
Bull.
And let's talk about the first week, which is, we'll start off with your game, Kyle. You beat up some chaos.
Well, I'll say this. For all that Surflore's coach Antler Hill is claimed to be a certified fun haver, he made a lot of smart plays. We both identified exactly where the game turned, and that's when he overextended with the minnow at the start of the second half, and then it immediately ate boot. But like until then, I managed to 1-0 the first half pretty solidly on a slow crawl, gave him the 2-turn, and in the snow, he managed to put 2 viable scoring threats. So I was able to put one down, and the other one had like it could flip 3 coins and put it in the goal. It didn't, but yeah. And then the second half, I just undead did his thing, and I didn't pitch clear him, but I put him away. That's that game.
I think the big thing that happened there was like you said. So in the beginning, like start of the second half, he uses his Minotaur to blitz out by himself, and then of course, and it just kind of leaves it out as in the wind, and that was where he put most of his development on the team. Like that was his playmaker, and you really can't do that against a team like Undead.
Yeah, I feel like that Minotaur was like 7 or 8 squares away from the ball, 14 plus turns of the game. It's like counting KO turns as being away from it.
That's pretty typical for Minotaur.
He was smart with it, which is to say he didn't blitz with it most of the time. Like he just coin flipped to move it, or he didn't. I still think it's not a great piece, but like he played smart with it, which is to say he didn't blitz with it constantly.
Well, I mean, part of the thing too with the Minotaur right now, as it stands, is that Blodge is great, but without break tackle, it's not actually mobile, so it can just get like stuck on a zombie still, which is the way the team is put together.
You could, that's what I did with it. Yeah, but you could give it tentacles or whatever. I don't know. I feel like that's what you do.
This is a blitzing bull.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Minotaur. If that had been 2 cast warriors, I don't think I'd win that game. Like his play was very solid. It was something to be scared of. So for all I 2-0'd him, it was a very good game.
Yeah, that's my piece on that one too. The alt lefties and strong women role models. That's which one is alt lefties and our Amazons?
Amazons are denizen. Alt lefties
Yeah,
are.
that's
Dramatic.
necromantic.
Oh yes,
That's double
the,
killer necro, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've come around on that build. Having just played against Necro, that's utterly terrifying.
Yeah, word on the street was, and I watched part of this one, it was just like a giant clusterfuck in the middle, and these mighty blow wolves just couldn't kill anything.
Because the claw was wasted
not
now.
having any tackle.
Yep.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that four
claw
guard
money-
didn't help either.
Oh,
that
God,
forward
yeah.
guard is so good.
Four frenzy against four, or yeah, sorry, frenzy blitzers against four guard is.
Yep.
I've come around on that. The four guard's really good.
Yeah.
Also, gonna go ahead and say that this is like a nightmare matchup for for these guys. You come in with hoping those wolves are gonna have dudes to fuck up, and instead you face a bunch of 87 blockers with your claw guys. That's not what you built this to do.
I mean, I guess
Such
you get
it
hit
is.
the ones that don't have block.
Yeah, basically, which
Oh,
are
Kyle.
On balance, then it's a pretty good result and to get a tie against this team.
Yeah, I think the tie was a good outcome. What was your level on the ghoul, Kyle?
Oh yeah, I took block. That's what you do.
Okay, it makes sense.
Oh, and I also murdered a goat, so I have a spare. That helps as well.
You picked up. You stole somebody's player.
True. I actually have put down 2 blind goats. They I mean I don't feel pity. It's the wrong way to play Blood Bowl.
Use murder.
You get a snowball. You just keep going. That said, I mean, loner goats are just fine at their jobs.
Oh yeah, man. You
haven't
want
been
at least
playing
3 of
any-
them that you don't care about. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, you broke 2 goats, but like the first 2 goats don't matter. That's no real damage to his team. It just means you got a free zombie out of it, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, next up is Bullet Peter's Crack House. Lost 0-1 to Groovy Groonies. That's
The Crack House was the Goblin team.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
goblins versus it's Necro again.
Yeah, Rusty's Necro. That was Prozon's Goblins, which, let's be real, you don't expect Goblins to win. Did he kill anything at Rusty's? Oh, Rusty's
Yes,
missing
in fact, he
TV.
did.
He did.
That's a
did he
dead
kill?
white.
It was a white.
Yep.
Yep.
Did it have
Sometimes
skills?
in a Goblin game,
Nope.
there are-
Okay, 0 SPP white's no big deal.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
you
that's
want that
pretty
white.
okay.
So what I heard about this game was that the dice were just super hot and super cold. Like
Yeah,
It-
was.
it was
This game
a
was
shit
made-
show.
Yeah, so I watched most of this game, and so like, for instance, the goblins almost stole it because they had like a perfect bomb that just wiped out an entire cage, and then like stole the ball out of 2 tackle zones with no rerolls left and run away. And then it's like, yeah, but then the other thing happens. They just fuck up everything and start rolling dubs goals.
Yep.
Like you could like the trolls could pick up the ball on the 6+ in like 3 tackle zones, but they could not throw a 2 dice block.
Let's be real. The Goblins only losing 1-0 to Necro means the Goblins had a very good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, with a troll MVP too.
Yeah, Troll MVP is
Oh.
great.
That's real. Yeah, it's very real.
Only an MVP away from yet another skill.
What would you get there?
Guard maybe? I don't know. Mighty Blow?
Well,
Strong arm.
Guard
Oh.
isn't actually that great on goblins because
Yeah, they're not hitting with anything.
Like, who are you helping out here?
Yeah,
You're,
you're
Fanatic.
helping out the other troll.
The
like-
Fanatic.
He's already strength. Yes, the fanatic.
I stand
Um,
by strong arm.
He's strong
I
arm.
mean, strong arm is not the worst.
I could see
um,
multi-block on these trolls too.
break
Like that's a real
tackle.
thing.
I
Give them
go
more
with-
chances to turn over.
I think break tackle is actually what you want.
Yeah, break tackle's
That's-
probably
if you
the like
double
safe
either of
real
these.
choice.
That's very real, and that's probably just completely correct. Let's see.
That or like stand firm.
You guys talking about goblins?
We are.
Yeah.
Talking about
yeah.
the game you just played,
A
actually.
wild Rusty's appeared.
Yeah, Wild
What,
Rusty Seabutter appears.
You
What
scared
happened?
me
Talking
talking
about goblins.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
What happened when the goblins gobbled you?
They fucking threw a bomb right in my face. It's the
Yeah.
worst. From like
is what
8
happened.
squares away too. It was like a big throw.
Good.
That was a wild game. It was a lot of fun.
That game was a great watch for anybody who's thinking about spectating some of these. Like, just
Really
go
was.
back and watch that game. It's so good.
Yeah, Goblin games are rarely so exciting.
How many objects do you hide?
Say again?
15.
I choose 15. Okay, well,
Okay.
next up is Gift Me Furlord, which is Furl, versus Iron Alcoholics, which is Hiroshia. And something interesting
happened
happened in
there.
this game. We've talked about it. A beautiful, beautiful bull centaur bit the dust.
Beautiful baby boy.
In
Oh,
positive
yes.
news, he got this 15 out of 16 SPP Clawchorf out of the deal, so that guy's gonna be a fucker real soon.
Well, I'm glad I face him next week rather than any later on.
Oh god, you're gonna be the one that gives it to him.
In that division.
I'm gonna be feeding that thing a zombie. Sorry, guys. I'm not standing anything else next to it. Or I stand the skeleton next to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
like
get that
plan.
value, man.
So
Put
what
that-
actually happened to this bull?
My understanding is it just kind of got isolated, and then a mummy punched it, and it died.
You
No.
watch the game. You
Minus
watch the
strength.
game, Randomous, to see that. I talked to you while you did it. You just don't remember.
I just don't remember. Mummyitis.
I mean, this kind of ties into a couple things that I'm sure have been talked about previously. First of all, like, all the teams in this league are starting with killers. Like, even the pro elf we look at next have a fucking killer on their team. And you're going to probably be going, like, 2 games without an APO unless you get really lucky on winnings. So you really don't want to run through, like, 32 turns of Blood Bowl with good players and no doc.
It's
some-
hard.
Like, it's so bad.
Some teams rode the snake, some teams got bitten.
Nope.
Yep. Some teams bought an APO and just died anyway.
Yep.
Some
And,
teams
like,
had regen and died to the ground. But
yep.
Such it is.
Like, so it's especially bad for Hiroshia's team, though, because he's got this 4th reroll that, like, he doesn't really need, and that could have just been an APO, and he might have been fine. He has, like, a 2/3 chance of just being fine.
Let me tell you, sometimes you really want those rerolls, and sometimes you really don't. Like, I had a 3-roll reroll versus 3 reroll Necro versus Dwarf match earlier. First half, we just don't use the rerolls. Second half, they're all burnt. It's just how it goes.
no, I know it happens, but
3 is the right number. You don't want more than 3. Sometimes you
Hey.
want 2.
I think
guys.
that bull also got itself into trouble, which is kind of a thing that happens with, like, strong pieces on break tackle.
we're maybe dwelling on this a little too much.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey guys, have you guys talked about how we lost that bull yet?
Well, at any rate,
Did you know that bull died?
Bull died. He didn't have an APO and he had a 4th reroll.
Hey guys, did you know that you should have rerolled the APO? Okay.
well,
Did you know that Crate won his game against Moniker?
yes, actually.
What? I didn't watch this. Jesus, I got
This game was a shitstorm. So, first half goes exactly like you expect. It's Moniker's drive. He scores, and then Crate scores back, and it looks like Moniker's going to get to 2-turn him. And then Crate gets a blitz and catches his own kick, and 2-1s him on Moniker's own drive.
Oh,
Yep.
And then the second half, he basically tries to do it again, but he overextends a little bit on his second blitz, and Moniker gets away with the ball to make it a 3-2. Hilarious game.
Man, I
It shows you
I
how
love-
how horribly you can get punished by a 2-turn setup.
Yeah.
love that
2-turn
the-
gets owned real hard by the blitz or the perfect defense. And
Please
it's kind of
note-
like, if you're going for it, you just kind of have to accept it. Like, okay, I lose to these things, and if I don't, I score.
Yep.
See, I feel like you just don't often have to commit that hard on the 2-turn with elves, dude. Like, you have movement 8. You don't need to go all the way down on your catchers. Like, they can just, like, you can keep them off the line and just, like, roll a GF5 to score if you really have to just not get fucked by blitzes and stuff.
So Puskarich, Puskowitz caught it both times because that is the catcher that has dodge now. Please note the Pylon Mighty Blow Blitzer has 23 out of 31, whereas it had 16 before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a
That
Kaz and then an
MVP
MVP.
Kaz.
Yep. So that thing is probably eventually going to have dodge too,
He's coming.
or tackle.
Or dead.
Or maybe he'll roll doubles again and get, like, some other awful thing. Who knows?
I mean, like, what else do you take? It's got
Yeah,
piling on
right.
and mighty blow. It's gonna get tackle or jump up or something.
It's probably just tackle. I would probably just take tackle.
Yeah, it's probably tackle and then jump up.
Moniker
I would take
specifically is
tackle
dodge.
instead of pylon, in fact.
So like I've talked with Moniker about the reasoning behind this, and he's like, okay, I get 2 doubles basically. And I kind of wanted to put both of them on the same person because that gets him kind of a little bit better value for his doubles.
Like he's never getting a Palmer otherwise. Like he has
Yeah.
to be incredibly.
No, I
lucky.
think.
I actually really like this,
Yeah, no, I like what he's done too. I'm a little like.
and it's
Yeah.
it's really easy to level people on pro
Yeah.
elves. Like
It's
you
a little
can,
risky.
You know, throw them a pass and
Like,
every
it's
so often and score with them. And
It's an elf that's also a killer. Like, it's if there's ever a fucking piece in the world that will level, it's this piece of shit right here.
Oh yeah, that guy right there is gonna be like level 5 by the end of the season. I'm not worried.
yeah, he's gonna have SPP falling out of his pockets.
Yeah, either that or he's gonna be level 1 and a zombie.
Exactly
Speaking-
that.
Speaking of levels, the catcher on crate also now has blocks, so that thing has blodge too.
It's good.
Okay.
Yep. And his ogre has 4 of 6 SPP, so that thing did work.
Oh yeah,
Also-
Crate blitzes with that ogre perhaps more than he should.
I will say one rough
Ooh,
thing for
Magic
the
the
elves.
Gathering.
It looks like they got a 10. It looks like they rolled 1 on their winnings after losing, and they really want to buy that third catcher.
Yep.
Oh, the elves.
Yeah, they lost the game. Like, elves really want to get gold early on. It's something very. It's kind of something they struggle with.
Oh no, certainly they need to buy a ton of things.
Yeah, so losing a game and rolling a 1, that sucks.
And I guess that this next game thrower isn't amazing either, but what can you do?
As whatever, you just pick up the ball with a lineman.
I mean, losing pass matters when you only have 2 rerolls and no dodge yet, but it's not. Out of the non-Lino things, that was the best one.
Yeah, like if your thrower gets punched and is missing a game, that's fine. It's not good, but it's fine.
Yeah.
All right,
I-
let's make some predictions, guys.
Well, okay.
First up for next week, we got Surf Lord Supreme, which is our chaos with our Minotaur, and you have me Fur Lord, which is Furl with. I can never remember what the hell Furl is playing for some reason.
Undead.
It's
Undead.
undead. No, it's one of these
I like the
dead
undead
teams.
here.
Undead.
Yeah, I think I probably bet on the undead, but if he doesn't make the mistake with the Minotaur overextending, I think he's got a decent shot. I think it's like a 60-40 undead thing.
Yeah, sure.
Do you
I
wanna
buy
pick
that.
one? Just do you want to pay, push? I have to pay respect for the poor fucker. I have to pay undead for games 1 and 2 of a league.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's 2 of them. It's the Chorfs and the Chaos.
Corrupt commissioners at it again.
All right.
I blame Jimmy. So how do we feel about Prozac v. the Crate in Goblins versus Humans?
I feel like I'm gonna
Goblin
watch that
and
fucking game.
Goblin. And
I really want to watch this game. I tell you that.
Yes,
much.
exactly that. This
Yeah,
is a
it's
a
gonna be real
must
exciting.
watch.
Oh man, there's 2 tackle blitzers on those humans. I don't know if I liked it then, but I sure like it now.
This is exactly what Crate wanted them for, was games just like this.
You want to believe in the goblins, the game like this.
Yeah, I want to believe, but I am going to put my money on Crate.
I put my money on Crate literally catching the bomb and throwing it back. I put it on the humans.
I mean, I don't think you ever really put the money on the goblins, but you know who you're rooting for.
Oh, yeah, I
Every
know who I'm
time.
rooting for, and it's not Crate.
I'll go with a tie.
Ah, that's a brave
Actually,
man.
given the players involved, I will say both teams failing to score is also a possibility.
Yeah, that's certainly true. This could be a 0-0 game.
Humans are really fast. Like if the goblins make things happen, I feel like I don't know. It could happen.
I'm mostly just giving Crate shit. I think that this could be a 1-1 game though, certainly.
I think 1-1's possible, and I think it's also possible for humans to just blow it out.
Yeah. So the alt
Alright.
lefties and the Southland Sweet Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look
There's
at all
no
of these
tackle
Div 2
on
teams.
the alt lefties, so I'm gonna give it to Moniker here.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I
only
like
actually
Monica.
2 dodge right now on the. There's only 2 dodge on the elves right now, so not having tackle isn't the worst. And that against a zombie team, you gotta be really careful at clicking the piling on button too.
Yeah, it's Necro versus Pro Elves.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I gotta pick the pro elves here.
Yeah, I like the Pro Elves too, but I think it's not necessarily an easy matchup.
I think this is the
guess.
matchup where the Pro Elves win and pay for it with the blood of many elves.
I think they
Entirely possible.
pay for it with line elves though. Like you eat some blitzes from Mighty Blow wolves, but you eat them on guys you don't really care that much about.
I hope so.
And also, once again, the Claw Mighty Blow team gets to play against 87 for the first 2 rounds.
Riggedy wrecked. Okay, well, Kyle, how do you and your undead fuckers feel about your matchup with Hiroshia and his dwarves?
Well, he
Only
already
short
told me
boys.
he's inducing a chainsaw and the thing that goes with a chainsaw. So
Yeah, bribes.
it could make some shit explode. That part's not exactly exciting, but I feel otherwise pretty okay. Undead always have a punching chance.
Yeah, you just have
I feel
to,
like he only
just
has
have to keep
money
him wrapped
for-
up.
for just a chainsaw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and hit it in the face. We'll see how that goes.
Can
Yeah,
also
he's
just hit
just
himself in the face.
seeing red, and he's gonna be just going out to foul shit, and he's not gonna do anything with the ball in the meantime.
Oh yeah, we've got our own
So-
Arabi now.
Results wise, I
Well-
give it to the trombonist.
That said, I mean, I'm gonna respect him because that's still threatening.
Oh yeah, that team's still scary to play.
Yep.
Then
Speaking
last up,
scary to play.
go ahead.
I was going to refer to these fucking Amazons.
Oh yeah, these Amazons here are pretty scary to play, and they're playing against another Necro team in Groovy Groonies.
That has no tackle. Sorry, Rusty. I'm betting on Denizen.
Yeah, I think that these strong women here are gonna run away with the ball a few times.
And all this guard advantage is gonna be really telling too, because I feel like most of the coaches in this team kind of went for murder. Like they went with hit harder and not hit better. So like maybe like getting 1 tackle out of respect to Dodgers, and against like 4 guard Dodge girls, that's just not going to be enough.
I mean,
What should I have not taken to get tackle?
you
No, I
deserve it.
don't think
Yeah,
like,
but
you
nuts.
made bad skill choices.
No,
I just think that this team setup is just like it's so Amazon's already
he's
started off
he's
really
straight up gonna
strong.
beat me.
It's our
Yeah,
metagame.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard for you to make any punches, and he's got dodge on literally everyone.
I'm never gonna
So
hit
it's gonna
anybody
be-
the entire game. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be
Okay.
horrible.
We're gonna
I-
hold
I
you to
don't-
that, Rusty.
I would say I do not disagree with any of your skill picks or even the way you put your team together overall. Like maybe having tackle would have been nice.
It's
But I
just-
can see value.
This is just a really bad matchup.
Yeah, just these Amazons are well positioned, as the Magic players would put it.
I think your only chance is potentially splitting his guard because your Franks actually can reliably 2 dice his non-block things to, well, I mean, the pseudo guard of block versus no block. It's still not great.
Yeah.
I mean, Frenzy with
Long-term.
Mighty Blow is kind of like Ghetto Tackle on the ones that don't have blocks. So you could try and fish for man advantage there too.
Here's
Here's,
some options.
You have enough block to maybe pick on people who aren't in the middle. It's just going to be like I wouldn't want to play these guys either.
Yeah,
On
no,
the
they're
plus
brutal.
side, he doesn't have any mighty blow anywhere, so maybe a little less cast for you, Rusty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get lucky.
Yeah, that is legitimately the only thing I would change is give one of these blitzers a mighty blow instead of the short hands on the thrower.
I do respect him committing to the gimmick though.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, get lucky in all of your games, and we'll see you next week.